you very much for always choosing Koraitu TV. I am your host, Liz Akama, and on our guest list today we have a policy and governance expert who will be running for Nairobi senatorial seat. How are you, Milton?
I'm very fine, Liz. How are you?
I'm fine. So yes. I'm just trying to figure out, from policy and governance expert, you fit for this race, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for someone meeting you for the first time, who are you?
Milton Lucheri is a function of so many things. First of all, I'm a governance and policy expert, just as you've said. We help the government to make the right policies for this country. We also advise the government and consult to the government on specific items that the government needs to do in order to help the economy. So I have a background in finance. I did finance at KU, and I also did my master's at International University, USIU. So yeah, that's me basically. I'm a Chelsea fan. I really support the team. For hobbies, I play basketball, and the most important thing is that I come from a Christian background, whereby we've been taught the issues of values and a belief system that help and respect humanity. So for me, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, you just have to respect me and I have to respect you. You don't have to discriminate anyone because of their background, because of their color, or because of their creed, or any form of identity they have. We respect every human being and treat them with equality. Okay. So that's the kind of background I am in. And that's what I would say about Milton for now. More we will discuss as we proceed.
So Milton, why are you coming from policy and governance and now getting into real government?
Yeah, you see, practicing policy and governance has helped me to know where the problem normally is when it comes to implementing government policies. We have realized that the government sometimes makes policies without having gone through the entire process, the entire thought process of coming up with a policy. Sometimes the kind of decision the government comes up with is a knee-jerk reaction to whatever has happened. But for you to run a government well, first of all, you have to have what we call the impact assessment. We have to assess the impact of particular policies to particular group, and the policies need to be very specific. But you find that the government doesn't realize this. It just wakes up one day and says that today we are banning all clubs from 8 to 10 without even saying why the reason for that. So you find that the government sometimes does things in a very haphazard manner. So as a policy and governance expert, my role is to make sure that we run through the policies even before it is implemented. And therefore, I have seen that there is a gap in government. That is why I'm trying to shift from the private practice now to the public practice. And I believe that once we form government, we will use our expertise in making sure that the government is run in the best way possible, so that Kenyans become beneficiaries of a good governance. And that is basically the reason why I'm moving from private to public practice.
As a governance and policy expert,
yeah.
which policy have you implemented to the government?
About 3 weeks ago, we did our manifesto launch. It happened at a certain hotel in Nairobi, and we highlighted what we are going to do for the people of Nairobi. And one of the areas that we highlighted was the issue of business environment for the young people. Right now I'm looking at you, Liz, and the cameraman there. I see you are starting to do something in terms of broadcast and production. But the government as it is doesn't have you people in mind. And therefore, one of my policies is to make sure that we formulate a policy whereby a particular percentage of the county government fund is set aside to help startups and also to help micro business like the ones you guys are in, so that when you have an enterprise that you want to start, you just go to your ward or you go to your constituency, you access capital there. If you want to increase the size of your studio, or you want to increase the size of the number of cameras or the personnel, you access the grants and you do that kind of a business. So that is one of the policies that we are going to implement, and we have called it the MSME Seed Fund for the Nairobi County. So that is just one of them. There are so many. We have talked about health, how we are going to revolutionize the healthcare system of not only Nairobi County, but the entire of the nation. So there are many things that are in place, but I just wanted to mention about just that one, so that at least we may know. There's something for the old people, whereby we are going to establish a welfare fund, because most of our old people living in the city, they're living in a very undignified life. And if we have a government that really cares, these old people need to be taken care of, and it is we as the government will need to take care of them. So there are many policies that we are going to implement once we form government.
I know, Milton, as an aspirant, you have to have a will. Yeah. Which party are you going with? Which party are you vying with?
Yeah, having listened to my advisors and the team that I work with, we have looked at the options that we have, and we have decided that UDA is the party to go with. That is the Mwananchi Party, the Wheelbarrow Party, the Hustlers Party, and the party that looks at the downtrodden of the community. Why we've chosen that party is because we looking at the kind of manifesto we have, it only fits hand to glove with what UDA stands for, because ours is basically to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Previous governments has only been concentrating on the rich, but now we want to change the narrative and concentrate on the poor, until we lift them to get to the level of the rich. So that is why we decided to go with the UDA party. Yeah.
So as an aspirant, vying with the UDA is a party. How ready are you for the nominations and even for August 9th election? Oh
yeah, we are more than ready, and Liz, you should read this space. The next senator for Nairobi is none other than Milton Lucheri.
All the best.
Yeah, thank you, because we are prepared, and we have the numbers, we have the people on our side, we have the resources, we have the will, we have all that it takes to win this election. Just yesterday I was returning my papers to the party, UDA party, and I have been cleared to run for Nairobi Senate UDA nomination come next month. So after next month, then we meet in the general election. But I'm more than confident that we are going to win the nomination and the general election. I've seen on the other side they have put someone there against me, and I'm saying bring it on. We will square it out as men, and we will compete on policy. You will tell the Kenyans, the people of Nairobi, what you want to do for them, and I will tell the people of Nairobi exactly how I'm going to empower them and make their lives better. And then they will make that decision, and we know by the end of the day, UDA senator will emerge victorious.
You're saying they have put an aspirant against you.
Yeah.
So how different are you from this aspirant they are putting against you?
By so many standards. Yeah. The aspirant from that other side, first of all, is a conference aspirant. He's always in conferences, he's always speaking on TV, he's always, you know, he's always doing something on TV just to be seen. It's called profiling. He's just profiling himself. But he is not in touch with the real issues of the people in Nairobi.
What are these issues that people of Nairobi are facing?
And when you asked me, like, what sets me apart from him, is that I have walked the streets of Nairobi I have interacted with voters, I have interacted with business people, I've interacted with mama mbogas, the boda riders and all that, and even the slum dwellers. And we know where the challenge is in this country, especially in the city. We interact with them on a daily basis. Even when we are doing our campaigns, you'll rarely see me on TV, going to campaign on TV. I'm always talking to the people, finding out what their issues are, and trying to see how we can articulate those issues into policies that will empower them. Okay? Yeah. It is just when TVs want to call me for a specific segment, that's when you'll see me. But most of the time, I am out there talking to the people, making sure that we come up with solutions, that are people-centered. And we see how we can convey those solutions into policies and perhaps even into law, so that we help the people. So that is how I'm different from the other candidate. The other candidate is arrogant, Lucheri is very humble. The other candidate how do I call it? Yeah, is a showbiz. Me, I'm a worker. It's just that today I heard you are calling me for an interview, I put on a suit. But you see me after this, I'll go remove my suit, change, go to the people and talk to them. Okay. Yeah, so that's the difference.
So as Milton,
yes.
You vying for the Senate seat, not
yes.
as UDA party.
Yes.
What do you have in store for people of Nairobi County?
We have so much in store for them, and I think you started by asking me what I have for them, and I mentioned one. So one, we have said that we are going to, I will make sure that we formulate a policy whereby a particular percentage of Nairobi funds that is allocated annually, that percentage goes to artisans and entrepreneurs and business people like you who are just starting off. That is our first priority. So that is what I'm going to do to the people of Nairobi. Secondly, we want to work on the healthcare. The healthcare economics of this country is really wanting, especially with people living in town. Okay, there are people who they are only one disease away from poverty, such that when someone falls ill in their house, they will use all their savings and all their earnings to make sure that that person gets well. And in the event that they get well, this family is brought to zero or even negative in terms of their finances. So we want to make sure that that does not happen by making sure that we enhance subscription to NHIF, and making sure that every Kenyan is registered on NHIF. They will go to hospital, get treated, and also do something about NHIF. There's a problem currently about NHIF. You are told that we'll only cover this, we can't cover this. You only get bed, MRI, and one other thing. But when you go with very serious complications like cancer or diabetes, they say we don't cover those things. So we want also to empower NHIFs in a way that they cover very serious complications. Okay? When you are admitted, NHIF covers for the entire sum, so that you go home having healed and your finances are still okay. Okay? So that is the second thing I'm going to do for Nairobians. And the last thing that I also think is very important is the issue of markets and parking. We have a very big challenge with parking and markets, whereby we have a very big market, but customers come there, there's no parking. Okay? So that is one of the things that we are going to look at. And also we have a challenge of land grabbing. These are things that people don't talk about when they say they are going to office, but some of us are very bold enough to talk about them. There is a lot of grabbing of public land in Nairobi. One of the areas that is very rampant is around Woodley Estate. We see people grabbing land there. A friend of mine was killed the other day just because he was defending land rights and their people. We have so many land issues in Nairobi. So when I get to Senate, those are the issues that we are going to fix, so that public land remains public land. People who have greed and all that will have no place in our government. So that's basically in a nutshell what I will do.
Okay. So Milton, politics is very unpredictable.
Yes.
You can wake up thinking you're going to win, then all of a sudden things changes, right? So as an individual, what if you're not going to make it?
Okay. You know, a politician normally knows that he's going to win. Even the one who knows very well that they're not going to win, they still insist that they will win. But in my case, I'm very, very sure that we are going to win, and therefore I would like to urge every Nairobian to come and vote for Milton Lucheri as their Senate, so that we win and we don't talk about not winning. Okay? So I'm inviting all Nairobians to come and help me in that regard. Yeah, but one should take note that elections is not the end of helping in governance. We will support the party in other endeavors, in other capacities, even if we do not get the seat, but still we can give our advice, we can give consultancy, we can give a lot of insights about how government should run. And I'm very positive that the UDA, ANC and Ford Kenya Kwanza Alliance is going to take the day, and we will be happy to be the ones helping in the background on how to run the country. So just to answer your question, should it, in the unlikely event that victory does not come our way, then we will help the party in other ways. Yeah.
So Milton, as an aspirant, as a senator, you have to walk through the 17 constituencies in Nairobi and 85 wards. Yeah. Are you going to do this on your own, or are you having people to support you in your campaigns?
Nairobi is too big for one to do it alone. So we have a team, and there are structures on how we are running our campaign. First of all, we've started with a high-level view, whereby we are looking at the constituencies. So we have 17 constituencies in Nairobi, and each is headed by a constituency coordinator. So after the constituency coordinator, which are 17 of them, then we have 85 wards. Each ward we have a leader in those wards. And then each ward has its own sub locality. We have called it villages, okay? So each ward maybe has about 3 or 4 villages, okay? So each village has its own leader. So that is how we've cascaded our structure, to make sure that whatever communication or whatever activity comes from the high-level leadership, it goes to the very basic person in at the ward level and even at the village level. Okay. Yeah, so that is how we've cascaded. We have a very big team of about 150 people.
You're doing this on individual level, or you as a team, party?
We are doing it as a team. Of course, what I've just told you is just the campaign structure, but we also have the secretariat. At the secretariat, we have about 15 to 16 people who are running and manning the secretariat. So it's a well-organized campaign. It's a well-organized campaign.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll just request you to talk to the people of Nairobi and convince them you are the right candidate.
Yeah. Hello Nairobi, my name is Milton Lucheri, and I am running for the position of Nairobi Senate under the UDA party. I would like to request humbly for your support in terms of your votes and in terms of your voice. Why are we saying that? Is because we have a mission to transform this country and also to transform this county. First of all, we are looking at the economic model that has been there for a long time, and it is what we want to change. And therefore, as your senator, I would like to urge that you vote for me so that we can see these changes going to happen. And we are looking at everybody who is going to benefit. We are starting with the person that sells mutura in your home, the person who makes your shoe, the person who sells mitumba, all the way to that CEO that sits on a swinging chair. our economic model is going to change all of that and make sure that our life becomes much, much better. And that is why I would like to request and urge for your support as the senator for Nairobi County. Let's bring change. Let's bring this seat home. And with that, I want to thank you and bless you all. Remember, it's Milton Lucheri for Nairobi Senate. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Milton, for the time you've given us.
Thank you, Liz.
And I pray you do it your best.
Thank you.
Let you win. You're going to win this, right?
Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for always choosing Kura Yetu TV. I have been your host, Liz Akama. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you on the next episode.